Right, good evening, everyone. Can we all hear me? If you
Yep.
can hear me, please go to the chat room and say yes. So I know that I'm good. Or just, if your video is on, just give me a thumbs up on your video. Thank you, Mr. Tosi. All right. Thank you, Mr. George. So you can hear me. Everybody can hear me loud and clear. All right. My name is Obafemi Adegoke, and I'm the facilitator for Schedule 5 of the IPAN training. And the stage we are now is the beginner stage. And the first module for this stage is Windows Server Administrator. From what the boss said during the first introductory meeting, there are 4 modules for this program, right? You have the Windows Server Administrator, you have Linux, which is the second, you have the Cloud Architect, and in our Cloud Architect, we're going to major on AWS, Amazon Web Service. There are other platforms that offer cloud services like Microsoft Azure, like the Google Cloud. But for this path to DevOps, we're going to be learning cloud or AWS. And you have the last module, the fourth one, which is DevOps engineering. I'm sure by the time we finished Cloud Architect using AWS as the learning platform, all of us, if our ginger is still high by then, if our morale is still high by then, we'll be enthusiastic to dive into DevOps. So DevOps is where the bigger men are playing, right? And then I do tell people DevOps is the way to go right now in the industry because everything now is in the cloud. And so if you are a DevOps engineer, I think you are a hot cake. All right, so before we go ahead, I'd like that we agree on some basic ground rules. And the first one will be that, can we please all mute ourselves? Please mute yourself because we are recording this class so that when you play back, you wouldn't have to contend with background noises. And those that are not in class right now would find the recording interesting to listen to. Now that I say we should mute ourselves does not mean we will not participate or be interactive. So please, whenever you have something to say, unmute and say what you need to say and kindly mute back. Let's consider those that will watch the video. All right, that's the first one. The second one will be that I created a Google Sheet. You know, what we are training us to become is a DevOps engineer, right? So that idea of still filling forms manually on WhatsApp, I saw it, but I didn't encourage it. When we can automate everything, why are we putting our name, our email, and our phone number one by one on WhatsApp when we can just use a Google Sheet to settle that, and Google will compile it in a very good order. For some of us that know about SQL, Google will help you to do that. So you wouldn't have to one by one begin to compile, right? So another objective of this class is that we do things seamlessly. We automate stuff. And that's actually the end job of a DevOps engineer, so that you will not need anybody at one a.m., midnight in Nigeria, or anywhere to go and do something manually. All right. So please, let's take our time between now and tomorrow. For those who are yet to fill the Google Sheet that was created, kindly fill that form to help us. All right, so this class is for 2 hours and it's for 2 times in a week, Saturday and Sunday, and it runs from 7:30 to 9:30 p.m. Right? And I'm in Nigeria. I don't know where some of us are. So what that means is our network providers in Nigeria, they are not reliable. So let me apologize in advance. When it begins to mess up, we might need to connect and reconnect. But the good thing is we are recording this class on cloud, so I expect it to continue and there won't be any issue with the recording. What else do I want to tell us before we go ahead? Okay, so this is an evening class. Whatever you can do to stay awake. I know some of us are married. And I read it when someone said by 7:30 all the battalions will be back to the house. So please, if you can get a special room so you can get the best out of this training, please ensure you do so. Okay. Uh, I've seen our beautiful faces, but then I want to plead with us, if it is possible, let us also disable our video. And I'll give you 3 reasons why we should do that. One, it will save the size of the video of this recording so that when we upload it or when you as well go back to the class to watch, you won't have to burn so much data. It will also prevent this live stream from lagging. Okay, that means there won't be so much on the platform. And then the last one, it will help you to take any comfortable position. Either you want to sit down or you want to stand up. But I encourage you, don't lie down because that's part of it to sleep in. All right, let us begin this. Windows Server Administrator. So from the feedback I've been getting, some of us are already in the IT sector, while some are from other units. But the good thing about the IT industry is whichever background you're from, you can find your space and do excellently well in your space. It is not that serious as other professional courses like law or medicine or surgery. All right. As a matter of fact, I know people that their background is social sciences and they are doing excellent. I mean, they are app developers right now. So because they have interest and they put so much interest into it, they are doing well. So let me throw it open. Can anyone help us? Who is a Windows Server Administrator? Try and give us in a very layman term.
Hello?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, my name is Arun.
You're welcome.
Yeah. A Windows Server Administrator is that guy that works as a central point in an organization that help to manage the users, the systems, and share folder. Basically, his job is to create users, manage resources, reset their password, and assign security policy on user and systems. That is who a Windows Server Administrator is, and uses Windows Server software.
All right. Thank you so much. That's exactly on point. And many Nigerian organizations. Also, let me also add, As much as some of us are localized in Nigeria, this training is meant to equip us globally such that you can either be in Nigeria and work remotely for companies abroad, or if should you choose to relocate, it will not be hard. It will be seamless for you to get job as uh, a DevOps engineer, a cloud architect. So that's just by the way. All right, Mr. Aaron has given us a very good definition, and I was going to say that in Nigerian space, when you hear IT officer, they do many things, and some of them don't even do anything, right? Some of them do just Windows Server administration, and then they call them IT officer. Or it is a broad word to say someone is the IT officer of the organization. Well, what some people do is just hardware technician. They help you to assemble your modem, you connect it with your CPU, or they come and troubleshoot if your CPU is not working, or you need to relocate to another office. All right. So the information technology space is very wide. I mean, it's as wide as a deep sea. Wherever you find yourself, you dive in and then you take hold of that unit, right? So, does anybody have any other idea? Let's make the class interactive. I know that we have many things in us. And if by any chance you are not, you don't get anything, please feel free to unmute yourself and ask questions, right? This is for all of us. Any person with other ideas who a Windows Server administrator is?
Hello.
All right, Mr. Lemide, welcome.
Okay, so I want to try. Okay, so a Windows Server administrator is someone that that handles the server section, Windows Server aspect of an organization. Ensures that every Windows platform are up and running. Every Windows Server platform are up and running and are ready for business every time and every day.
Thank you, sir.
That's basically.
Another person on point. Thank you. So we wouldn't want to waste time. We are right. So the person that specializes in installing, configuring, maintaining Windows-based servers, they are called Windows Server Administrators. All right. Is everybody coming along? If you're okay with that, please give me yes in the chat room. Let me know that you are following. All right. Uh, so for me, Windows Server Administrator is like one of the basics, right? For some people, they just do this particular course, this module, and then they feel, oh, I'm good to go. All right. So my Oga told us of a guy that he did the Windows Server Administrator, and just before the Linux class started, he already got a job. He resides in US, and then the guy just ditched the rest when they were paying him so much. All right. But I will encourage you, please follow this Python training all through from beginning to the end. It will help us a lot. Okay. Adeyemi says he's not seen any video. If you can hear us, you're good to go. The video you should be seeing is probably me wearing something because we ask people to disable their videos so that we can follow through. I'm not sharing my screen yet. By the time I start to share screen, you will see anything that you need to see. So I have plenty yes in the chat room. That means you can move on, right? So this is where we're going to begin. We have a curriculum that we follow. So servers, you've heard about that. As the name implies, something that serves the rest or it controls the rest. Talk about network security, talk about authentication for the client. So some of us work in offices. I'll try to use real life experiences as much as possible. Some of us work in small enterprise offices, say bank or say a corporate organization like sorry. And then we have computers on our workstation. And for some of us, they give us sign up user ID and password for our emails or access into some of the company files or the company website. All right. And you are familiar with somewhere they call the server room, so that when your network is not doing very well, you ask the IT in the server room to either reset or to do something. Or maybe they have a new intake in the company. They ask the IT in the server room to create a user ID or a customized email ID and address for it for the new person, right? So this is what we do in the server room, right? So that's what I mean when I say server. And the person that manages the server room is the person you call the Windows Server Administrator. Okay, so I'm just trying to pick one or two simple things. Cables. Is there any person who doesn't know what a cable is? Okay, so you have a LAN, local area network, and they ask you to, they give you a cable close to your work desk that you put into that you insert into your RJ45 port in your computer, either your laptop or your desktop. Those are cables. You have switches, you have routers. These are things that make up network infrastructure. Your servers, your computers, your cables, your switches, your routers. Okay, so I like to get a feedback. Am I too fast? Am I too fast? Okay, someone is raising their hand up. Please, you can unmute yourself and if you have any
Okay,
question to ask.
so my question is, with respect to cables for servers, are there specific cables for servers, specific cable for workstations? I need to know if there now in the company.
Of course, yes, there are specific cables. Okay, so the general name is cable, even the one telecommunications use. There are cables, but there are specific cables you use for uh, office enterprise. Okay, but do not worry yourself with that because you are not a network person. You're more of you're not an hardware person. You're more of a networking person. When I mean network now, you deal with virtualization and then your server. Okay, so you're not the your role is not for you to go and be laying the cables in the offices to climb the roof, right? What this training is equipping you for is beyond that, right? Did I answer your question?
Yes, yes.
All right.
So
So we move on. right? So every one of us is either connecting via a laptop or a desktop or a mobile device, right? So we are going to be coding all these things machine for the purpose of this training. So, or we call them hardwares because they are physical things you can see. But what Windows Server Administration entails much is, especially for this training, is more of virtualization, right? So from your host, when I say host now, I'm referring to your computer, the one in front of you, the physical one you see. From your host, they're going to be creating many machines. Okay, that means from your computer, we'll be creating 2 or more computers, but we are going to call them virtual computer. So with your laptop and you have your OS installed on it, we're going to tweak it such that you can have other virtual computers on your laptop. And that's what you call virtualization. Okay. Virtualization is hosted on your individual systems, right? Why? So there's also the idea of what we call cloud, right? Uh, can a non-IT person in class tell us what he or she knows about cloud? Let me see. And please don't laugh if the person say the one above us. Of course, that's a cloud as well. But can a non-IT person who has heard about cloud before tell us what he or she knows about it? Okay, thank you. Cloud is a storage place, a virtual storage place. I like that. I like that. Okay, so if a non-IT person is saying it is a virtual storage space, now that means uh, you are fit to be here. And if you do know a cloud as well, you're also fit to be here because this is also the essence of this class, right? So when you created your Gmail account, Gmail gave you 1 gig storage capacity for that mail account. So either you use it to save pictures, or you receive or you send pictures, or you created Google Sheet with it, or whatever you do with it, you have, especially for that free account, you have 1 gig, right? And you know that that 1 gig is not resident on your phone, it's not resident on your laptop. It is resident in the cloud. Are you getting me now? All right. So I would like our feedbacks. When I say, are you getting me, please go to the chat room, type yes. And if you can afford to unmute yourself, please unmute yourself, say yes, you're following, and then you mute back, right? So virtualization is a technology that allows you to connect with cloud. That's the link between the two of them. And that's what we're going to be doing majorly in this class. Like I said earlier, we're going to be creating more of virtual machines from your hardware, from your host, from the laptop you have in front of you. Okay. And what allows us to do that is a technology called virtualization. And where or the reason why virtualization work is because there is a cloud. So just like that person that contributed said, cloud is a virtual storage space, is right. But in real sense, Even as cloud is, there is a place where everything you put in cloud is resident in physical form. Just as you have your hardware in your laptop, your hard disk rather in your laptop, just as you have your 64 gig in your phone, maybe a small chip that represents that, or just as you carry about your external hard drive where you save things. When you save things in cloud, when you store data in cloud, there is a place in real sense where those data are held, where they are resident. Okay. If someone, can someone tell me the name of that place? Thank you, Aaron Gift. It is called data center, right? It is called data center. So data centers are facilities equipped with capacity to store things. I mean, large amount of data in whatever form, in JPEG, in PDF, in MP3, in MP4, in ASCII, in any form whatsoever, it will hold it there. And that's why you save your picture on Instagram or you save it on Facebook and you come back 5 years, you are able to see that picture. You thought you save it in the cloud and you look at the cloud, what's in the cloud? It's actually a name to say, okay, you save it abstractly. But in real sense, there is a data center where these things are held in bits and bytes. Okay, so you're going to be hearing some technical words. Don't you worry, everything will be explained in this class, all right? Bits and bytes are um, they are portable, small sizes, which you can use to store data. But we're going to get there where I'm going to do proper explanation where we talk about uh, your storage settings, your RAID 0, RAID 1. So we're going to get there. I wouldn't want to confuse us, all right? So now, your data center, they run on OS. We say virtualization is a technology. And if it is a technology, therefore, it requires some sort of program for it to run. And that's what takes us to what we call hypervisors. Hypervisors. Has anybody here of hypervisors? Right. You have two type of it. You have the hypervisor 1. You have the hypervisor 2. All right. Hypervisor 1. Okay, I'm waiting on us. Has anybody heard of hypervisors before? So Israel said yes. So can you please unmute yourself, Israel? Tell us what you know about hypervisor. Oh, Adeyemi, thank you. Adeyemi has broken it down for us. Oh, please. So it is okay to hear our voices. So please feel free to unmute yourself and then and say things. All right, please, so that we know that we are not sleeping. Okay. So if you are using a desktop Zoom, you can just mute yourself. If you need to talk, you hold down the space bar, say what you have to say, and then when you leave the space bar, it goes back to mute. That way, it is easier for us. Okay, so hypervisor 1 works on data center. Okay, so let me break it down now. When you buy a system, when you buy a new laptop, or when you buy a new CPU, right? Either it is blank or it comes with pre-installed software, right? If it is blank, what you have is called a bare metal. Now, the first set of software you install on it that helps you to drive other software, the first program you install on your bare metal that serves as an interface between your set of hardware, the, the assembly of your hardware, and other software that you'll be installing is your Hypervisor 1. All right, so the person that says Hypervisor 1 works on data center is correct. And this is the explanation. Data centers are assembly of big and heavy storage facilities. Talk about your hard disk, talk about your external hard drive, right? Now, use your imagination to expand that. So today now, I think we now have about 4 terabytes or 8 terabytes of hard drive or even hard disk. Now, think about uh, the data center as somewhere that can house 1 million terabytes. I mean, big, heavy data, such that if you decide to store the whole data in this world inside it, it will contain it and there will be spaces left. All right, those are data center. Now, the software that helps, is anybody asking a question? We can't hear you. Who is speaking, please? Is anybody asking question? Okay, so I just go ahead. So think about your data center as it's just there. Now the software, the virtualization technology that helps the assembly of those plenty and large storage devices to communicate with other things is your Hypervisor 1. It is the first thing you install, and it is a program that is also written by high level programming languages, right? Uh, so if you want to work in a data center, a programming language that you should learn is Hypervisor 1, how to write that. Okay, so it is a serious thing to do. The same thing with your laptop. So you can see Hypervisor 1 as the software that helps your laptop that you are touching to communicate with other software. Okay, so your Windows 8, your Windows 6 is actually not the first software on your laptop. There is a software initially on your laptop that helps your laptop to communicate your Windows OS. It is likened to Hypervisor 1. Now, there is the Hypervisor 2. Okay, so like I said, the Hypervisor 1 or Type 1 virtualization is the first thing that is loaded, is the first software that you load on your hardware, which you call bare metal, right? There is no OS between that particular software and your hardware is the first thing. Now there is the Type 2 hypervisor 2, which is your machine. It is the one that you load, so your Windows 7, your Windows 8, or in other uh, machines like your Linux or your MacBook, your your iOS. Those are Hypervisor 2. All right, so Arduino has helped us I would not say the types of hypervisors are conventional operating OS. Okay, so for the ones among us with non-IT backgrounds, when you take your laptop to the software engineer and you say you want to flash your laptop or you want to format it and you want to install a new OS on it, what they are installing on it is type 2 hypervisor, right? It helps your computer to interact with you as a person, right? Now, type 2 hypervisor interacts with the users, which is you, whatever you type in, whatever input you give it. But type 1 hypervisors interact between the hardware and type 2 hypervisors, another software, all right? But type 2 hypervisors interact between the type 1 hypervisor, which gives us the enabling environment and the user. I hope that's clear enough. Does anybody have questions? Please go ahead and ask your question. You can unmute yourself, please. Or if you are clear, give me thumbs up in the chat room or give me yes in the chat room. So does that mean everything I've been saying since everybody understands? Am I that good? Have I been communicating? If you have questions, please ask. Okay, please, someone just raised his hand. Please go ahead, ask your question. Rather than raise
Okay.
your... All right, go ahead, please.
I want to ask more. I think I need more clarification about Hypervisor 1.
Okay.
If I acquire a new laptop,
Yeah.
does it come with the laptop that I will need to activate, or I will have to buy it separately and install it on the laptop? I just want a clarification.
Okay, good question, sir. For most laptops, right? Hypervisor 1 comes with it. It is already pre-installed because it's a programming language that is technical. In fact, if not for the sake of this training, you would not have known about Hypervisor 1 at all because most people don't have to deal with it. All right. The tech, the jigs are the ones that deal with Hypervisor 1. Okay, so most laptops, in fact, when you buy your laptop, what do? You just put it on. If it doesn't have a pre-installed OS, you install your OS or your old OS on it, right? So what that means is, as long as the laptop is able to interact with the OS you are installing, right? It means it has Hypervisor 1 on it, type 1 hypervisor on it. All right, and we're just giving you this for information's sake and so that you have the knowledge of it. So wherever you hear people talk about these things, you know about it. Otherwise, it is not like it's not relevant. You need to know because being a DevOps engineer, you don't know where you find yourself. You might think you want to be in Google or Twitter or somewhere, and then you just find yourself in data center. Okay. But just know that Hypervisor 1, type 1 hypervisor allows other softwares to communicate with your bare metal. So it is the first software that is installed on any host. It might not be your computer now. It could be your mobile device in data centers. All right, so it is the first software that is installed on them to help them communicate. Right. Have I answered your question? Any other question? Please ask any question you want to ask. As long as it is on these things that we are learning, please feel free to ask any question. All right. So like I said, Hypervisor 1 interacts between your bare metal and other softwares. So can we say type 1 hypervisor interacts between hardware and hypervisor 2? Yes. 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 That's what we are trying to say. Okay, cool. So your hypervisor 2 is able to communicate with your computer because you already have hypervisor 1 on it. And most times it is at the background. You don't even see it. You don't even know anything about it. All right, it is pre-installed. Okay. And engineers that deal with hypervisor 1 softwares, oh man, they are jigs. They are those types you hear that they don't bath 3 days. They are there writing codes. All right. Other questions, please. All right. Today will be more of talking and explanation of the basic things. So please ask your questions. All right.
So, Olumide again, good evening.
Good evening, Olumide.
The other time you said for somebody working in the data center, maybe now the person will have to be working with like HP or IBM. So if the person wants to be to one engineer, what kind
Please,
of
can you
programming?
increase the volume, please? Can you speak louder?
So for someone, the other time you said, can you hear me now? Is it loud?
Yes. Yes, please. Yes.
So for someone that wants to be an hypervisor one engineer, now the person must be working with HP, IBM, Dell, what kind of programming language should the person be targeting to be a specialist in?
Okay. I think it is generally called low level. Right? It is. I think it's generally called low level programming languages. They are.
Sorry, can you help with typing that so that I can put in time?
You said?
Can you help with typing that in the chat so that at every point in time you can do research on it?
Okay.
Thank you.
I'm doing that right now. Okay. Low level programming language. They are. Most of them call them. Okay, that people call them assembly language or matching language. Right? I will be honest with you. Low level programming language are for tech gurus. Like, okay, so we have IT guys in our midst from the forms we've been filling. Does anybody want to share their experience with any low level programming language that he has? Okay.
Hello.
Yeah.
Okay. Low-level programming language are actually languages that translator languages like
Thank you.
C, C++.
Thank you.
These are and they are very, very deep languages that you will need to understand very well.
Thank you.
They are not like object-oriented languages
Thank you.
that surfacely you can understand, just like the C sharp. No,
Yeah.
based on
Yeah.
the tediousness of C language and C++, they try to come up with C sharp that
So people
now
can at
be,
least
yes, people can
tag
now
along.
understand, yes,
Yeah.
because it now look more like human language. But the C and C++ are more of machine language.
Exactly. That's it.
Yes, and you will need I don't know. There are two things that actually involve you have what we call compiler and translator.
And translator, yeah.
Yes, for C++, you will need a translator that will be translating one after the other.
Okay, so Mr. Aruno, thank you so much. Let's not go too deep. So,
Because we are not into programming language, programming class.
oh, okay. So let's not go too deep. I just want class to have other ideas about low-level programming language. Okay, so that
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
all right, sir. So that when I say these things, it won't look as though are you saying I cannot jump into it and learn it? Of course you can, but you must really be ready to devote a whole lot of time. Like they are machine language, and just like he said, you need compilers, you need translators, and it is. I've attempted it once. I just feel like okay, so let me stick to let me stick to high level. Okay, so my level now, you can even you even have online writers that you type what you want in words and it converts it to code for you. There are some no code softwares now that help you. But for low level, oh man, some do as much as isolate themselves for days for whatever to do this. So these are hypervisor ones. Yeah. The hypervisor two are high level programming language. Well, some hypervisor twos are actually also thick, but you I would say if you have interest in it, okay, something you can also learn and build. But where we are taking you to with this course, we want to take you to somewhere where uh, you are functional, you are solving real life problems, and you are not isolated. You don't have to be isolated from family and friends like low level coders. Okay, do you have any other question before we move on?
Yeah, sorry. Um, can we say a DevOps engineer can also do the work of what's it called? A low level what's it called?
Coder
Writer.
programmer? No, sir.
Yes. Okay.
No, sir. Right. But likely what everybody is doing, we should give kudos to Hypervisor one and those that wrote it. Because at first they are the one that enable us to interact with the computer in front of us. Even for other developers, your Python, your Maven, your every other software development kit, they are able to interact with you and your machine because you have your type 1 hypervisor. So let's thank them. All right. But is a web developer or is a DevOps engineer a low level programming writer? No. All right. Their jobs are different, but they are both in the IT space. All right. Any other question, please? Okay, so if there are no other questions, can we move to the next step? So for the purpose of this training, the type 2 hypervisor we're going to be using is our Oracle Virtualbox, right? Other platforms have their own virtualization software as well. So when I say virtualization software type 2 hypervisor, I'm referring to the same thing. Okay. I know that Google Windows has its own. I think Windows calls it VMware something. Yeah. But for the purpose of this class, we're going to be using Oracle VirtualBox. So Oracle VirtualBox is what will help us to be able to turn our host, the physical computer in front of us, to turn it to a VirtualBox that from where we can create other virtual machines. Okay, so it will help us to create a new environment on top of the OS that you have, and then it will also help us to create. Please go ahead and ask your question, please. Go ahead, please. You don't have to, please hold on. Everybody, please, at any point in time you have question or clarification, just unmute yourself and go ahead, all right? So please feel free to ask questions at any point in time. All right, let's hear you, sir.
Okay, I'm just what I want to ask is, does that particular software, the Oracle VirtualBox, does it work on the MacBook?
Yes, please, it does.
Okay, because I have a MacBook with me, that's why I asked.
Oh, yes,
Thank
it does. Thank you, Mr. Israel. Microsoft Hyper-V. So that's the Microsoft equivalent of Oracle VirtualBox. So right now,
Okay. So I was about to ask
okay,
the confession you said VMware, because I know VMware is
okay. So right now, I'm going to be sharing my screen. So the person that wants to see video, this is the part where you're going to see as much videos as possible. Okay, so okay. What are we seeing right now? Please unmute yourself, good people, and tell me what you are seeing on your screen.
VirtualBox
software.
Okay, VirtualBox.
VirtualBox 6.1 downloaded.
What are you seeing now?
VirtualBox.
You're trying to log on to Google and
Google link
you want to
to
bring up
VirtualBox.
VirtualBox.
Okay, thank you.
VirtualBox.
So this is where we begin our real training as Windows Server Administrator. The first thing is we want to install a virtualization software made by Oracle, and that is the Oracle VM VirtualBox. VM is a virtual machine. Okay, so you go to your browser and then you type on your Google Oracle VirtualBox. Okay, you're going to see different links. You're going to see different links from Oracle. So I would advise you to click on the one that says www.virtualbox.org. So what I just did is I just copied that and dump in our chat. Oh, I like Mr. Aaron, he accepts us. So when you click on it, Oracle VM VirtualBox, what you want to install a virtualization software. That is what will enable us to create many other virtual machines still on our computer. So that computer in front of you, you can create up to 10, 100 other virtual computers still on one based on your resources. Okay, based on the resources you have. And when I say your resources, there are 3 resources you need to create a virtual machine. There are 3 resources you need. You need your hard drive for storage, you need your RAM, random access memory, and you need the processor. So these are the things that your VirtualBox works on, your virtualization software. So if your system will not hang, you can also do this together. We are now in www.virtualbox.org, and then what I did is I click on either downloads, yes, all right. So guys, you can see my screen, right? Please give me yes, either in the chat room or you mute and say yes.
Yeah.
All right. You can see my screen, excellent. So from here, this is where you want to download it from. So you see where I just highlighted VirtualBox 6.1.22 platform packages. So for those of us that our system is Windows, we're going to click on Windows host. For the Oga that ask for MacBook, you create on OS host. if you are running Linux distros, say is either Red Hat or Ubuntu, you're going to use Linux. But for the sake of this, I think most of us, we are either using Windows or we are using
OS.
MacBook, right? So when other, I'm using Windows here, so I'll click on Windows host, right? When I click on Windows host, it's going to ask me, should it download, should it save? So I can say yes, wherever you want to save it. Actually, I should save on Windows. So if I say save right now, it begins to download, right? But because I've already downloaded it, I don't think I need to again, but I just did it now. I think you can see my screen, right? You can
Yes.
see the Virtualbox downloading. Okay. So when it finished downloading, I come and I double click on it. I want to run my Virtualbox on my system. All right. It's saying preparing to install. It might come back and tell me. So you just do next. You do next. You do next. Okay, so see this. It's saying warning. Network interfacing. Proceed with installation now. They can
Hello?
just go. Or, yes.
Yeah, we can see your installation process.
Okay. So it's
Mm.
just basically to be saying next, 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 next. All right. Okay, so I'm coming. Let me
I want to ask,
please.
assuming we already have this system used for other purposes, installing this, this is like, okay, this is a virtualization, not an OS. It's not going to have anything to do, it will just be a link to a virtual environment, right?
Can you say that again, please?
So assuming we already have a system used for something else,
Your
clicking
system.
yes, installing this virtualization process, will it
Okay.
take over the system, or it will
No, no,
just
no,
be a
no, no,
link
no.
to the
It is. It will just come in as any other software. It won't take over your system.
okay, all right.
No, it won't. That's why it is called a box. You just put it. It just installed on your desktop. Okay. What are you seeing right now?
Yeah, we are saying I get to this place too, and I'm waiting for it.
So just go ahead with your next until it installs, because I already have it installed on my own system, so I don't have to reinstall again. So the person that is raising his or her hand, please go ahead.
Yeah, my question is this. Can you hear me, please?
Yes, loud and clear.
Yeah, I want to know the minimum RAM requirement for my laptop to be able to, install this VirtualBox.
Okay.
Is this 4 gig, 8 gig, and the likes? I want to know the minimum requirements. Can you hear me, please?
Yes, I can hear you, please.
Okay,
So you want
that's
to
my question.
know, okay, so by the time we start the installation, right, the
Yes.
the box will pick the minimum that it needs. So if
Okay.
you have a RAM of 4 gig, okay, it will do, okay. And if you have, if your hardware is up to 120 gig, it's okay. But the virtual box might not pick up to, I think the virtual box will just pick about 30 gig. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, about 30, 35 gig. Okay. And okay, so let me back up on that, please. The virtual box will not take anything. It is when you begin to install your virtual machines that will not be drawing your resources. So your VirtualBox installs as a software, just like you install your CorelDRAW, or just like you install your Windows Office. Okay. You know, your Windows Office don't take anything from you.
Yeah.
When you now use Word, or you use PowerPoint, or you use Excel, that's when whatever you save now begins to draw from your memory, from your storage. Did you get that?
Yes, yes.
Okay. So your virtual machine will not take much. Okay. Another
Excuse
question,
me, sir.
please. Please
Yes,
go
sir.
ahead and ask.
Yeah, please. When I was trying to, after downloading the virtual machine box,
Yeah.
so I tried running it. So it now came up with it now came up with a window that has 1 and 2. The first one said double click on the icon, and the second one said run the VirtualBox application from the application folder. So what should I do from there?
Either one. You can run
Okay,
it from the
either.
application folder. And duplicate.
Okay,
So what you downloaded is actually an executable file. All right, that's why it was so fast. It will now take time for it to now go to the internet and load the VirtualBox.
okay,
Did you get?
okay.
So what are you seeing now, people? I think I just need to run together. Are you seeing my Opera?
Yes.
Okay. I'm trying
I
to
see your screen.
see if I can actually. Oh, someone is using Ubuntu. Excellent. Excellent. Mr. Badijo. So this class is more or less like a revision for you, right?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Thank you. So when you're
It's
loading your
like
own,
switch it off.
you said? Hello? Is anybody saying something to me?
We can hear you.
Okay. So who has successfully installed their VirtualBox? Has anybody been able to?
I have one already.
Oh, okay. That's cool.
Successful.
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 Yeah.
Excellent. Excellent. So who else has been able to install their VirtualBox? One person has one already. I have two successful. That's 3 out of a class of 20. Or do you want to, if you want to install it later, give me later in the chat room so we can move on. So this class is not a theoretical class. It is a real labs class. Okay, so when we say labs in IT, it means hands-on. You do it. Okay, and that's the kind of learning that I like, that I prefer. Okay, so please. Okay, I'm getting later. All right, please. I want to believe that you will do it later. And if you have any challenge after the class, we have the WhatsApp group for you where we can give you support. Right? When I say WhatsApp group, I don't mean the general WhatsApp group. I mean our Schedule 5 WhatsApp group. Okay, so that we don't crowd the general WhatsApp group. Okay. So we can move on. Now that you have installed your VirtualBox, can anybody see my VirtualBox screen?
Yes. I can.
Okay.
Yes.
So this is what it should look like if you have installed your own, except that at the left-hand side, you will not see this 1, 2, 3. You will not see these 6 virtual machines that I have here because nothing is on your own yet, except for the person that already has a virtual box. Maybe that person has installed virtual machine, but in your virtualization software, your Oracle VirtualBox, if you double click on it, this is what you should see. You only see tools. You won't see this stuff. Windows Server 1, Windows Server 2, Windows Client, Linux Server 1 and 2. Okay, so
What I'm saying here is just welcome to Virtualbox with tools. That's all.
exactly. So that's what I just said. Okay, is anybody saying something different? Okay, so we're on the same page. Let's move ahead, please. So the next thing is we're going to create our first virtual machine, okay, on our Virtualbox. So what this Virtualbox helps us to do is it, it actually helps us to create other virtual machines. Okay, so you can create a virtual machine on the ordinary Windows 10 or Windows 7 or whichever Windows OS you are using, or whichever Linux distro or whichever iOS you are using. Okay, it is only a virtual type 2 hyper software that can help you to create virtual machine. And we just installed our Oracle VB. So
Okay, so Mr. Fem, sorry I have to interrupt.
please interrupt.
So I know the experience for Windows might not be something tedious, but I'm looking at, is there anybody around here, or can you
Can you
clarify
speak
how
up,
it looks?
please?
So I said I know the experience for Windows might not be something tedious.
Okay.
Is there someone around here, or can you help with clarifications on how the experience will look like on Red Hat and Ubuntu?
Okay, so I've actually not used VB on Red Hat, Ubuntu, Fedora, or any one of them before, but I know that if you run it, you're likely going to have a screen like what you are seeing now. Did you get? It's just that they made a special one so that you can be able to communicate with that particular OS.
OS, okay, no problem.
Did you get?
Thank you.
Yeah. But since this is hands-on class, this is labs, why not go ahead? If you said you use Ubuntu, let's run it and give us feedback. Okay? Because tomorrow somebody might have to pick up an OS different from Windows, different from iOS to use, right? But I'm not sure it's going to be much different from where you have here. They are all GUI, graphic user interfaces, right? They are not VirtualBox doesn't work with any command line interface to do your virtual to create virtual machines. They are all graphic user interfaces. When you look around, with this basic knowledge you are having now, if you have to install a VB on another OS, with this knowledge, it will help you. Okay. But basically, most that you have around is either you are working with Windows or you are working with
iOS.
iOS. Right. So we want to create our first virtual machine. And since we say we are being trained for Windows servers administrator, the first machine we're going to create is going to be a Windows server. All right. But before, anybody ask question? Okay, someone is asking, are there VBs we pay for, or does it always come free and accessible to all? I think this Oracle VirtualBox is for a year. Yeah. Or it might also have the learning platform, the learning or the hands-on, where you may not be able to access all services available. Okay, but it's not always free. I know Nigerians. I know we like it when it is free, right? But it will not always be free. Yeah, I think VirtualBox Oracle VB is a year. After a year, you might have to begin to pay, except you won't use it. Okay, but I'm sure within 6 months you've used it to learn all that you need to learn, and if you will be working with it in your respective endeavors, your organization pays for the license and certification. Okay, Mr. Niyi Oyenira wants us to review the procedure for download. Okay, so what we said is you open your browser. Okay, let me open the new browser and you type download Oracle VirtualBox. When you enter it, it gives you links. And then we say, click on the links that says www.virtualbox.org, right? And then you can go to downloads. Downloads is by the left-hand side of that link. It takes you where you can download it. And then if you can see me now, Mr. Niyi, I said VirtualBox 6.1.22 platform packages. If the system you are using is a Windows system, you click on Windows host. If the system you are using is iOS, you click on OS host. iOS are for MacBook, Apple people them. And if you are using any of the Linux distributions, like I think Mr. Shion is using Ubuntu, he is going to click on Linux, all right? But like we agree, most of us in this class, we are either using Microsoft Windows or we are using Apple iOS. Mr. Niyi, did you get that now? You can unmute yourself and...
Yes, sir.
All right, thank you. All right, so...
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome, sir. Now we need to install our first virtual machine, and it's going to be a Windows server, because when you have a small enterprise, the first thing you install is your server. Before you begin to install other things, you install your server and configure it. All right. If you want to have a family, the first thing you have is the father and the mother. Before you can now have the children, you can now have the maid, you can now have the driver. All right. You can now have children, maid, driver, gardener, or any other domestic staff for that matter, except you have father and mother. Or for single parents, either father only or mother only. So the same thing with this, you must have your Windows server first. Okay. If you don't have a server room in your organization, the rest of you, there's nothing you're going to work with. So you now go ahead and download our Windows server, because we need to use this VirtualBox, and the first thing we install on it is a Windows server. We're going to be making a lot of downloads, so please get ready. Okay, you come to your browser as usual. Okay, and in your Google you search for Windows 2016 server. Are we together? Please give me a yes. This time not chat room, or mute yourself.
No. We are not together.
Okay, so please, where did we miss you, or where did you miss us?
Sorry, actually, what happened? I had a network issue. I couldn't hear you all through.
So what was the last thing you heard, sir?
Let's start. You said the first thing we install was Windows Server, since we are going to work with Windows Server.
Right.
That was yes.
Okay, so you have not missed too much. So what we want to do is we want to download the Windows server that we're going to run on our VirtualBox.
Okay.
Yes. So I'm just taking us through the process that you come to your browser, either you're using Opera or you're using Firefox or you're using Internet Explorer or Edge, whichever you're using. You come to Opera and then you use the Google and then you type Windows
2016 server.
2016 7. Okay. You're going to see a lot of links, but please use the link that has Evaluation Center. Okay. So whatever we are downloading, it should be directly from their site. So we won't run into
I'm coming.
problems. All right. So can we see my screen? Can you see my cursor hovering around, forming a circle? Can we see this?
Yes, boss.
Yes, we can see it.
Okay, sir. So click on Try Windows Server 2016. Click on that. And then I think it's still loading.
What you said we should. I just had this came back. Sorry.
Your network is struggling. We can't hear you, please. Can you repeat yourself?
What sense, sir? Back to how we get to the Windows server, please.
Okay, so can you type it in the chat box because we cannot hear you? Or can anybody hear him? I'm sure his network is dragging. Or is it my network?
Okay, can you hear me? Hello, sir.
I can hear you, sir.
What I was saying is that can you go back to how I started downloading the Windows server because the network I came back. Thank you, sir.
Okay, so you want me to go back to? We have not started downloading the Windows server actually. We are just in
how
the
to
page.
Get to the yes, please.
So
Just from the beginning.
Okay, sir. So from Google. So from your Google, we say Windows 2016 server. So I think this is the latest Windows server that you have. The IT gurus in the house. Are there other early?
We have 2019 already.
They have 2019 already. Excellent.
2022 is in preview.
2020 is coming, right? Okay, so let's work with 2016 so we can learn with this. All right. So for the person asking, this is what we typed on Google Windows 2016 server. We say enter. And then it takes us to the link, a lot of links. And then I said, click on the link that have try Windows 2016 server. So I just copy that link now. And like Mr. Aaron used to do for us. Please let me know more that this name. Is that name Aaron or Aruno? Please help me. I don't want to make mistakes.
It's Harun, not Aruno. It's Harun.
Harun, thank you, sir.
Yes.
Thank you, sir. So, there's our chat. If we've seen our chat, I've seen it, and I've dumped it there. Okay. So when we click on that, The person that asked that question, all right? It will load. So this is, I think I have 3 tabs of that now. So let me close 2 tabs so I can have 1. So who is seeing Microsoft Evaluation Center? Is everybody seeing this?
Yeah.
Yes, boss.
Thank you.
Yes.
Okay. So you scroll down and you come to where you have Windows Server 2016. Okay, you have many things. Oh, excellent. So you see there is Windows Server 2022 preview. Okay. You have 2019, you have, but we're going to learn with Windows Server 2016 already. The change, I've worked with 2016. Okay, so the person raising hand, please go ahead and ask your question, please.
Yeah, I think I'm a bit confused.
Please.
At a point, I think you highlighted the try Windows 2016 server on the Microsoft Evaluation Center. I
Right.
guess you copied it.
Yes.
So I don't know what happened thereafter.
I copied and pasted in our chat box for guys
Okay,
to see.
okay. So that means I can as well click on it.
Exactly. If you click on it, it should take you to this page that we have now.
Okay, thanks, boss. Thank you.
All right, sir. So if you're on this page, you come down to Windows Server 2016. So for the person asking for Virtualbox, look at it. For Windows Server 2016, it's only for 180 days evaluation. All right. But that's not an issue. Let's move on. Look at so when you click on Windows Server 2016, it drops down. You click on ISO, please, not Azure. Click on ISO. When you click on ISO, you go ahead and say continue. All right, when you say continue, it brings for you a form to fill. Let's say we are Ethan and our last name is, no, our first name should be Schedule 5. Our last name should be Ethan. For you, you can put your real name in these places, please, whatever you want to do. Okay. Our job, we are developer engineer. But these ones are not needed. Country, we are from Nigerian. Or are we UAR already? No, we are Nigerian. Oh? Nigeria, excellent. And then,
Hold on a second, please.
please.
What tab gave you this free star? I mean, get free star. You know, there are several tabs there.
So you have Windows Server 2016. When you click on it, you will see 3 check box. You have one Azure, you will see one ISO, and I think the third one is virtual or something.
So
Let's
the
just,
first one I have is description, which is not get started for free.
don't worry, I'm going back now. So we can look at it together.
Same link. Yeah, it's the same link.
So far, so good. I'm coming. Let's just wait for this to load. Okay, so can you see this? Please select your experience. Azure ISO Virtual Lab. And I say you should check ISO.
ISO.
Something is okay. No problem. Let me pick the one from the chat. Maybe the link is
okay. You have to scroll down when you get to that link. Okay, there are many server products. The one we clicked on is Windows Server 2016. Can you see it?
Okay, yeah, got it. I think it's me. Sorry, please continue.
No, you don't have to be sorry. We are here to learn. Okay. So when you click on ISO, you say continue, and then it brings that form. Okay. So when you begin to fill the form, you say, we are schedule 5 as our surname. We say our last name is Ethan. We say our company size is 2 to 4. We say our job title is, all these ones, don't worry yourself with it. We say our countries, but just try and put something, but they should not stop you from downloading what you want to download. If you want to be receiving informations and tips, you can leave this, but I don't want to receive information. I didn't even put an email here for them. Or if I want to put an email, let me just put this. I don't want to receive information and tips. So what next? I say continue. Okay, they say I must fill this. So let's just put item train. Okay, the asterisk means that they are all compulsory points. My work phone number. Let me put 696572449. Right. I say continue. So the next thing is loading. I expect it to take me now to where I'm going to download, right? Just give me some moment. I'm just filling the forms again. Let's see.
I think the one you click now is Hyper-V Server 20.
No. Thank you.
That is bringing up a data center download.
You said?
That the actual is a data center download. You understand? The OS is data center.
Yes.
Not standard.
But the one we are bothered with is here, right? Windows Server 26. Yes, I want to download. Windows Server 26. I just want to show you because I already have it downloaded. But I just want to show us how we are going to go about downloading our own so that we'll be on the same page.
It took you a very long time, right?
Yes, because it is heavy.
When you're downloading.
Yeah, the file is very heavy.
It's about 6.1 gig or so.
File is large.
It's about 6.1 gig.
Wow, that's a lot.
Yeah. So and then you must be careful you have good internet because if it breaks, it is better that it download. it download all through, because if it breaks and then it continues, it will show you download complete, but it may not install properly. Okay, so are we following, please?
Yes, you have to check the one that says language.
So I pick
Yes,
English language. Is everybody following? I want to be sure
Uh,
I'm carrying everybody along.
I have a question, please. I have a
Please,
question.
please go ahead.
I want, what is the relationship between or the OVB we downloaded before now and the Windows 2016 server?
Good question, sir.
Because from the look of things, it's as if we are no longer on the OVB. We are
Yes,
working with Windows
yes,
Server 2016.
yes.
So
Thank you.
I want to know the relationship.
So this is our OVB,
Okay.
Oracle VirtualBox, right?
Yes.
If you look at the left-hand side of this, you're going to be seeing some virtual machines. This one is Windows Server 01. This is another Windows server. This is a Windows client. This Windows server controls the Windows client. This is Linux server. This is Linux server. This Windows server, right? It is
Yes.
here. I'm coming to people who are waiting. Let's bring them in. All right. This Windows server is here because I downloaded that Windows server that we are about to download now.
Okay.
So this, when by the time I download this Windows Server 2016, I will run it on this VirtualBox.
Oh, I get it now.
All right. So
Yes.
this VirtualBox is what allows me to run. I can have up to 10 or 15 Windows servers.
Servers.
All right.
Yes.
On this, controlling things. Did you get now?
Yes. Yes.
All right. So
Thank you.
we are here after we filled that form and we said yes, continue. It is now asking us to select a language. All right. Because I speak English, not French or another one, I pick English and I click download. Now look at it here. Look at my download pop-up. It's already showing. Can you see this?
Yes.
This is about 6.5 gig. All right. And this will take me 36 minutes to complete because I have a fast internet. All right. But I'm going to stop this because I don't need it. I just needed to show us. Someone is saying something, but it's not clear. Someone is saying something. If you are talking to us, please, can you increase the volume? Or if your network will not allow you, please type it in the chat box. All right. And if you're not saying anything to us, please mute yourself. Thank you. All right. So let us recall what we've done so far. We have downloaded our Oracle VirtualBox and then we run it. Just be saying yes, yes, continue. It will install. When you install and double click on it, you will see a white page like this. And what you will see is welcome to VirtualBox. Then you will see tools. You will not see all these things that I have here. Your Windows Server 1 with Server 2, you won't see them. Okay. As a matter of fact, for the sake of this class, can I remove all these ones? Remove all files. so that all of us can be on the same page, right? But I think I'm still using them for some other training purposes. Let me leave them, it won't affect us. Okay. And then after we downloaded our virtual, I'm recapping now. Our Virtualbox downloaded. The next thing we did was to go and download our Windows server so that we can install it on our Virtualbox. So far, so good. Does anybody have any question?
Yes, Olumide question is speaking.
Please ask a question, sir.
Now, after the download, how do we install? As we speak now, I'm sure many of us are still trying to download, and that's
Okay.
going to take a while. So, how do we install it, bring it on this OBB?
Okay, so,
That's number one. Number two,
all right.
I want to ask, where will the machines be drawing their keys and their storages from?
They are drawing it from your host. Your host is your laptop or your desktop. All right, so it is out of the 1 terabyte hard drive that you have that the virtual machine will pick its own 35 gig, or you can set it to pick just 25 gig. Did you get? Did I answer your question?
Yes.
All right. So the first question was, how do we install this? So it is where we are going. I just want everybody to be on the same page. So far, please, who has not gotten what we have been doing so far? From the beginning, we talked about network infrastructure. We talked about cables. We talked about your host. We talked about router. I mean, these are the things you see where some of us have seen. And then we said that there are two types of hypervisors. They are all virtualization softwares. We say there are type 1, and there is type 1 and there is type 2. And we say your type 1 hypervisors are low-level programming language softwares that helps helps other softwares or hypervisor to interact with your bare metal host. It is installed directly on your host. There's no software before it. It is the first way you install. Okay. And we also said that the type 2 hypervisor is the one that helps your own softwares, your your type 2 hypervisors, your OS, either your Windows XP or your Windows 7 or Windows 8 or Windows 10 or your iOS to interact uh, with your computer. You cannot install Hypervisor 2 on your bare metal. When I say bare metal, I mean your host, your computer. There must be a software already on it, and that's your type 1 hypervisor. All right. And then when we finished that, we started the work of Windows Server Administrator by first downloading a VirtualBox, which will help us to install other virtual machines. And the VirtualBox we downloaded is the Oracle VP. We went to Google, we typed Oracle VirtualBox. We saw the link, we downloaded it, and then we run it to have this screen. And I said that when you run your own, you will not have these 5 or 6 machines you have here. I have mine here because I already installed some virtual machines. Then what you will see is just tools, and then you will see this welcome to VirtualBox. All right, after that, we went back to Google to download the 2006 Windows Server. We saw other servers, we saw 2019, we saw 2022, but for the purpose of this training, we're going to be working with 2016, I beg your pardon, 2016 Windows Server. And then we are here now. And then someone asked, how do we install how do we install the server? It will be the next thing we want to do. I just want to be sure we are on the same page. All right. So who is still not getting what we are doing so far? We are building this thing small, just like that. You know, when you are in school, we start from the basic things, then you build it up. We are taking the basics now, so we should get the basics because we're going to be building on this. Is there anyone that is not getting it, please? You can unmute yourself. You can unmute yourself. Okay, this person whose name is iPhone, I would advise that please we all change our names so that I can interact with you properly. I'm not that comfortable calling you iPhone, but iPhone is asking which internet service I'm using. If I tell you, you'll be shocked. Though. It is Glow. Actually using Glow. And I'm also surprised that it has not given me any issue. But I think where I am, there is 4G here and it's very strong, right? Other questions, please. Is everybody being carried along? Is everybody being carried along? I have 18 persons in class. Is everybody being carried along? You have questions, please go ahead and ask. Hello, we can unmute now and please let's interact.
Sir, I have a question, sir.
Please.
Yeah, the question I want to ask, you said the Hypervisor 2 is the software on our system. Are we talking about other software other than the operating system, or is just the operating system alone?
It could be the operating system. In other cases, it could be some other softwares.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, there are also hypervisor tools that are not only your OS.
Okay.
Right? But they are also not a human language software. So, all right. But we get to that point. Okay, your hypervisor 2, one example of your hypervisor 2 is your OS, your Windows 8, your Windows 2010, right? But there are also other hypervisor 2 softwares. Yeah. The person that is running Linux distros, those are also OS, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that Hypervisor 1,
yes.
Are we the one to install that to a system, or it comes with the system?
No, sir. Most times it comes with the system. Okay. They are low-level programming languages, and we have explained that it is. Yes, it is good that you are asking for clarification purpose. It comes with your system. All right. It comes with your system. Most PCs. All right. It comes with them. So because it is because of that you are able to use other things. Okay, so your hypervisor 1, right, enables you when you have a laptop that has fingerprints. Okay, there are many softwares on the internet that can help you use your fingerprint, the fingerprint on your laptop, right? But there is an hypervisor 1 that helps those softwares, either they are from HP or either they are from where is this common makers of softwares now? It is that hypervisor 1 that helps that software you want to download to interact with that fingerprint hardware, the keyboard of that fingerprint. That's hypervisor 1, right? You have your mouse pad on your laptop. Okay. You can either download Synaptics. Synaptics is one of the whatever softwares for mouse pads on laptops, right? The hypervisor 1 enables synaptics to interact with that mouse pad. If hypervisor 1 that drives that mouse pad is not there, if you install synaptics, nothing will happen. Your mouse pad will not work. But these softwares are pre-installed on your bare metal. So when IBM makes their computer, they already have Hypervisor 1 to drive all the hardwares on that computer. Starting from your keyboard, the button when you press, when it sleeps, or the button when you press is to connect to the Wi-Fi or your screen. When HP makes their laptop, they have Hypervisor 1 written by HP low-level programmers that helps you to interact. The same thing with Samsung, Lenovo, whatever you call it, right? In data centers, so let's say Google Data Center, they have Hypervisor 1 already installed on their data center so that when you, at the corner of your room, uploaded your picture or your CVs and keep it in your Google Drive, okay? Hypervisor 1 helps the software you are seeing on your screen to interact with whichever data center is storing that thing for you. All right.
Okay.
So Mr. Israel is asking, are we also going to download Linux server? Yes, we are going to. When we get to, we said that we have 4 modules. Okay. When we get to that point, we're also going to download Linux server. But right now, let's just take it a step at a time. Okay, there are 4 modules. When we get to cloud, whatever, we're going to use Linux. But right now, what we are working with is Microsoft Office. All right. Okay. Does anybody have any question? Let's move ahead. So we have 7 minutes left. We can use that to install our Windows server. All right.
Okay, sir.
Okay.
We are still downloading.
Oh, that downloading, I'll leave you guys to it because I know 6 gig is not here. Yes, I know it's not here. So,
is there any other fastest way we can download this guy?
the fastest way is to,
because the way it is now, I don't even know if I thought I even have someone that has it already. Just anywhere you are, I can come over tomorrow to pick it with hard drive. I'll flash up to install.
oh,
I
like
downloaded this.
I like your faith when you say anywhere the person is. What if the person is not in Nigeria?
Definitely there will be an option. If you're not in Nigeria and I'm asking from Nigeria, you should be in picture of my, except you have it in Nigeria, somewhere in Nigeria.
Right.
Yeah.
So I thought of it if I could put it in the cloud for guys.
Yeah, if I thought you can even put it maybe on Google Drive, that would have been better.
But it's still the same
just
thing.
send us.
But it's still the same thing.
No, it will not be the same. You will download, but not the same thing. Now you are dragging from their own resource. It's going to be different. You have it already. It's you that, what was it called? They are packaging.
I think what you can do, you can just use this opportunity, the advantage of all these operators, all these overnight browsing.
Exactly. That's what I would have said.
That is the best.
500 naira for 10 gig or so.
Exactly. So you set it overnight.
Not the gig. I just immediately I saw it's 7 gig. I quickly ensure I have enough data. I quickly top up my data. I just bought extra 16 gig now, just to top up my data.
Okay.
But the slowness is not it. And when I saw you were using Opera, I have to switch my browser to see if Opera is actually faster.
Okay.
Because I saw the way yours was just running. I said, it's the same time you download it. It's telling me 3 days.
If I'm going to download 6 gig right now, it won't take me up to 30 minutes.
Are you serious?
I'm telling you.
What network are you using? And location?
MTN.
Location.
Ikeja.
Okay, that's central area
there is
now.
4G.
Now they will first give now.
There is 4G in Ikeja
There's
now.
4G around Ikeja now.
Yeah.
There's
But
4G around Ikeja.
Yeah,
MTN,
sorry. I've
MTN all over
downloaded mine.
MTN all over Lagos.
I've
MTN all over
downloaded
Lagos.
mine.
Are you serious?
I'm
Yes.
telling you.
Let me try again, beg. I don't tire.
All right, guys.
Well,
Let's
my
save
own
time.
Yeah, so,
Let's save time so that those that downloaded their successfully can
Continue.
see how we install this, and the other person, please just concentrate on the class. You know how it is being done. So when you have time, you'll be able to install yours as well. Okay, so
Mr. Femi, we are going to have the video, right? It means we can do it on
oh
our
yes,
own, right?
you're going to have the video, yes. Please. Okay, so let us continue, please. So now assume that these 6 items you are seeing at the left-hand side is not there. You want to start afresh. When you launch your Oracle VirtualBox, the next thing you click on is New. All right. When you click on New, there's a pop-up. It says Name and Operating System. What name do we want to give our server? Okay, so what name do we give it? Let's say.
It's training.
Where did you see that new?
Okay, let me cancel this. Have you launched your VirtualBox?
Yes, I have.
So what are you seeing on your screen? You should see tools. You should
This is
see
what I'm
welcome.
saying. Yes, exactly.
Click on tools. Have you clicked on
Okay.
tools? Did you see any new?
Okay, hold on.
If you don't see new, go to File. You see New Cloud Virtual.
Okay, yes, new cloud VM.
Hold on. I'm not sure if it is that, but new. Okay, machine rather. Go to machine. You have file. You have machine. You have help. If you
Yeah,
go
you
to
have
machine,
new and add.
exactly. Click on new from machine.
Okay, yeah. Thank you very much.
All right. So let's name our server schedule 5/7. Okay. Are you with me?
Yes, I'm with you.
Okay.
Yes, we are with you.
Thank you, sir. Schedule 5/7, right? What type? You drop down. Okay, so machine folder, just leave it as it is. It's going to go and save it where it best fits. So leave that column, don't drop it down. The type, what type do we want to use? I'm using Microsoft Windows, right? That's the one I downloaded, isn't it? For those that downloaded, that uses Mac, your type is going to be Mac OS. For Mr. Demola, that uses Ubuntu, your own will be Linux, if you are using that right now. So you download, you drop down type to Windows, Microsoft Windows, so that's what I'm using, right? And then the version, you drop it down to Windows 2016 64 bit.
bits.
Right, 64 bit. So
We that are using MacBook, what do we drop down to?
all right, if you are
Simple,
using MacBook, you drop down to Mac OS.
Oh yeah, I've seen that. I've taken that the version.
Okay, so what
What you downloaded
version
now?
did you download? The version
I
that,
downloaded the same version with you.
okay, so if it is not Windows, then you're going to be using, let me
It's
see.
just showing Mac on my own. It's not showing Windows like yours.
See, when I drop down Mac OS,
Yeah, that's
okay,
what I'm saying.
then I drop down version. When you are downloading, what version of this did you download? It should be Mac OS 64 bit.
Yeah.
So that's the one you're using, sir.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome, sir. So I dropped down mine to 2060. So for some of us, right, when we get to this point, we're likely going to face this. There's an issue here that we faced over time. When you drop down this, you may not see Windows 2016 64-bit, right? If you don't see it, this is what you will do. Please carefully listen. For those that are seeing their own, excellent. But if you don't see your own, don't panic. You shut down your system. When you shut it down, you start it up. When you start it up, begin to press F10 repeatedly so that it can start up from the BIOS mode. All right. When you shut down your system and then you start it up again, when it start up, just be tapping F10, F10. Instead of it booting into the normal OS environment, your PC will boot into the BIOS mode. From the BIOS mode, you play around it, you see where you can check virtualization on the configuration, right? You will see where you can check virtualization on the configuration. When you check it, you save and boot normally. If you come back here, you're going to see Windows 2016 64-bit. All right, you might be lucky when the system was being configured, it has already been activated for virtualization. But if you don't see it, it's not an issue at all. Don't panic. It's not an issue. And don't think something is wrong with your system. It just meant that you need to go to the back end to go and enable your system for virtualization software. It's as simple as that. Do we get that?
Yes.
But in case you don't, feel free to come to the WhatsApp group for Schedule 5 and then we'll troubleshoot together. It is very easy thing to do, so don't panic. All right. So let's move ahead. Now, in this place, when you want to install your virtual machine, you must move not very fast, but you must not delay. Because if you delay too much, your virtual machine will not install. If it doesn't install properly, you might have to delete it and then start again. So see what I'm about to do now. After I've entered the name, I want to name our server, Schedule 5 server, and I drop down type to Windows, Microsoft Windows, and the version of what I downloaded is 2016, right? I move to next. Okay. So for the person asking about memory and the rest, is now asking me memory size, the RAM. On its own is going to pick 2 gig. This is 2048 MB, right? But if your system is just 4 gig RAM, please, so that it won't be dragging, reduce this to 1 gig. Are you following, good people? Reduce it to 1 gig. If you have your RAM,
Yes, we follow.
if your RAM size is big, say 8, actually have 8 on mine. You can, so I can afford to use 4 or whatever. But if your RAM size is just 4 gig, reduce the RAM size to 1 gig. You say next. All right. Then he's saying the recommended size of hard disk is 50 gig. Leave it as it is. Okay. And then check create virtual hard disk now. Are you following me, people?
Yeah.
Good. So create. It's asking you, please choose the type of file that you would like to use for the new virtual iDisk. The one I want to use is virtual disk image. Okay, so it means that I'm not adding any virtual hard disk anywhere. You see next.
Didn't see that properly.
You didn't see it?
Yeah, it's shifting on the other side.
Can you see my screen?
Yes, yes, I can see your screen.
Yeah, I can see your screen now.
Okay, so I checked. This is already checked there. So I'm not changing it.
So I want to ask a question, sorry.
Please.
Can I?
Please go ahead.
Okay. We have a virtual box disk image and we have virtual hard disk.
Yes.
Okay. Well, maybe I am looking at VirtualBox disk image
Yeah.
is what we are checking, not virtual hard disk.
Yes.
Why are we checking the image? Because image is supposed to be something you capture and you want to replicate. Why hard disk, that's virtual hard disk is a plain hard disk you are just allocating to a machine. Why not taking this VHD instead of VDI?
Okay, so we are in the VirtualBox environment.
Okay.
Okay. So image means it is just capturing from somewhere.
Yes.
So that's why we're using virtual disk image, VDI. So assuming there is a data center, a center we are connecting to somewhere, we can use VHD.
Okay.
All right. But for this, we are using VirtualBox disk image. So it is the VirtualBox that will go ahead and assign to it.
What you already, the configuration that you already have.
Yes, sir.
Okay. I actually understand what it is. For those that may not understand, that's what I'm asking.
Oh,
because we might be faced with a real life scenario. You know, we were animal of incentive. Any one direction that we understand this, so we do. You
right.
get.
Yeah.
Yeah. So when we are on feed now, trying to maybe there is an interview or we are actually faced with real life problem. You are asked to create a virtual machine in an organization where you work, and you must have a beating your chest. Oh, I can actually create virtual machines. Then you are faced to create in a production environment, and you are seeing things like the best. You will just pick this. You flop already.
Thank you, Mr. Haran. So do we all get that? There's a reason why we are picking this, all right? So we are picking VDI VirtualBox disk image because it is the VirtualBox that is now going to pick from the host itself for the virtual machine that we want to create. So there's a reason for all this click that we are doing. So please don't, thank you for helping me to do that backup, Mr. Haran.
So does that mean real life scenario is actually the second that we're going to take
No, it depends on the situation.
It depends on the situation.
In other instance, right? So assuming you're creating, you're writing a mobile app, you're developing a mobile app, right? And assuming that mobile app requires that you're going to be storing data. So you use, let's look at one now. You use Instagram. You use Instagram mobile app, right? And you put your pictures. Even though you are able to see your picture on your user interface, what it means is it is storing somewhere. All right. Do you know that the picture on your Instagram is not the same as the one on your phone? If you delete the picture on your phone, you can still log into your Instagram and still see your picture. That means the memory is not resident in that phone. Are we getting it?
Let's pause.
Your app that you downloaded, your mobile app that you downloaded is just about say 64 MB. All right, and you uploaded a picture of say 2 gig. Don't you wonder where you are saving it? You see in the cloud. Okay, so it is a virtual hard disk, right? It is resident in the data center somewhere. But now this is a virtual box. A virtual box does not have its own hard disk anywhere. Okay, it is using the hard disk of the system. But the machine you are installing via VirtualBox must pick hard drive or must store on what the VirtualBox gives to it, not any other virtual hard disk in any data center anywhere. Is that clear? Okay, so if it is not, please put it in the chat box so we can move ahead. This is 9:41. I know tomorrow is Sunday. We should not be shooting over time. Yeah, but I understand that we have beginners in the class. That's why we're trying to do this. By the time you're doing this on your own, you won't take this time because you know some of these things. So I say next, I want you to dynamically allocate hard drive. So just as Mr. Harun has led us, we'll begin to try and explain each of these things. Dynamically means that it can shrink and it can increase. Did you get that? So assuming okay, the other time I asked it to pick uh, 35 gig, right? For my hard disk. So by the time I'm using my virtual machine and I need to have exhausted the 35 gig, this dynamically means that the virtual box can increase the size of my hard disk as long as there is enough on my host. A fixed size means that once it is 35 gig, I've exhausted the 35 gig, the virtual box assigned to my. Okay, so let me also use that to explain this. VirtualBox disk image. This is the one that led us to this place. All right. This thing is dynamically means that if I have 35 gig given to my virtual machine from my VirtualBox, if I get to that threshold, it can on its own prompt that hard disk be expanded. That's what it's meant by dynamically allocated. But if I leave it at fixed size, right? What it means is that once it is 35 gig, the moment I get to the threshold of that 35 gig, nothing comes in again. I begin to have issues. All right. So I might have to go and create another server to accommodate more, or I will have to do something, which is in the real production settings. Your server is 24/7 operating, seamless. So the best thing is to leave it at what? Dynamically allocated, so that it can increase in size when there is need for it. But for the purpose of this training, I'm not sure even if you're going to use up to 1 gig. All right, but this is training.
Sorry,
Right?
before you go ahead,
Okay.
like two steps before this one, where we will have to check the hard disk
Yes.
assigned to the server.
Yes.
The size of hard disk is 50 gig.
It's
Is it possible for us to reduce the size? Because from there it's, I think it was 60 gig that it showed. Okay,
50
that's
gig,
there. Yes,
right? So you want
yes.
to, what do you want to do?
This is okay. This is recommended size.
Yes.
So how do you now ascribe the particular size that you want to create for it?
I'll show you when we install our server. There's a place you can go
Okay,
and drop it.
okay, no problem.
Yes.
Thank you.
All right. So we do next. We do next. Okay, so this is the part where I say we must be fast. Did you see 50 here, sir?
Yeah.
Have you seen this 50 gig here?
Yes, I can see.
You can drop it here.
Okay, okay.
I've dropped mine to 35. Who else needs to see this? So at this point, you must move fast. Look at this yellow box here. You click on it. Click on this yellow box. It will take you to your local drive. That 6.5 gig that you downloaded, you must go and look for it. Are you with me? I'm coming. Why am I having this? Please let me check something. Create. Or should it have been VHD? Just give me a moment, please. No, it isn't. So let's come back to VDI here, dynamically here. Create. Okay. We have created our first server. Please let me sorry, I hope I've not. Let me remove this first. Okay, let me remove all this because I don't want it to interrupt with our. Let me remove everything. Okay. Or maybe we'll pick our next class from installation so I can leave you guys to go and do the necessary download. All these things I'm deleting for sake of this class. It's a whole lot.
You would have do a backup of these guys.
This is a Virtualbox. Where will I back it up to?
No, you can. There should be a way you can back them up, and you can install.
But you saw a backup on
them.
it now. You saw a clone somewhere.
Okay, if you can clone them still on your hard drive, see on your system.
Everything
maybe if you
you
can
do,
back them.
everything you do
It's on your
must be on
system.
this Virtualbox.
Okay.
You know what gives us?
I understand it's on your Virtualbox.
Yes.
I mean, you can create a folder maybe on your C drive, have them there saved. Maybe when you want them back, you can still navigate through your Virtualbox back to those places, restore them. Don't worry, I'll walk around. If there's any way, I will let you know.
Okay, but I have tried it. I realized that they all require a type 2.
You walk straightly from this part.
Exactly, from a Virtualbox for you to.
Yeah, they work strictly from the Virtualbox. They cannot work independently.
Exactly, they cannot.
No, it just like the way you
have.
have. You know, you when you have an archive on your what's the name? Email.
Okay.
Yeah, like your desktop emails now.
Okay.
Majorly Outlook for office users, people that use Outlook on their offices. You know, there are some mailbox, you want to archive them, right?
Yeah.
Do not archive them. They will create a part in your maybe C drive or document, then archive there. You can actually, outside your email, you have the files there. You can go there and see the files, but you will not be able to open them.
Access them, yes.
You can't access them.
Come here
but you can move them. You can move them
Yes.
up and down. I can copy
can
them
even
from this
move
my
them to
particular system.
another
I can copy them from
Outlook
this my
somewhere.
system. Yes, take them to another system, but I will open them through Outlook.
I get your point. Okay, so
Yes.
do you want to try
I
that
think,
and let's see? Because
no worry if I can.
I did it. I tried it, but I just realized that
Doesn't work.
I can't even bring them back.
You will
into
attach it. You will attach it to your Outlook. So
Yeah.
once
No,
you
if
attach
I-
it to your Outlook, you'll be able. Once you open your Outlook, you will see them as you will see the emails in those files.
No, what you do, no, you don't attach, you will attach it.
Hello, excuse me.
Okay, please.
It's actually an observation. I want to believe we are up to, I think, 16 in this class.
Yes.
And at a point,
Just dump it on the system. Just know. Hello. Sorry, I lost.
Yeah, at a point, I discovered that the discussion, was between Mr. Arun, who I think is an IT guru,
Okay.
then the instructor. So some of us are, let me say, well, personally, I'm lost at a point.
Okay, so that's why I've been asking all this while. Do you have questions? Do you have questions?
No,
I've also tried to recap. I've also tried to recap as well. At a point, I recapped everything we did up to the point.
I was following.
At any point in time, please, at any point in time, if you have any question, please, you don't even need to raise up your hand. Just unmute yourself and cut in. This is labs class. By labs, I mean it is hands-on. Okay, so you have that right solely reserved for you to cut in and ask questions. So if there is, okay, let's just use the remaining 8 minutes, although we've short our time, to answer questions, and then I will allow you all to go and do your download. Tomorrow we'll start creating virtual machines. So for now,
boss. Sorry that we were just talking. The boss that was saying it was not wrong. We were talking. I'm sorry about it. We're just trying to talk. No. We're just trying to talk and get to understand some things. Nobody's an island of knowledge. I really enjoy the way the instructor is taking it, trying to take everybody along. So he's not taking it as I know it. Every other person should listen to me when I'm talking. He take us as, oh, we all understand what we are both doing, but he's the lead instructor. So sorry, guys. I will be listening to questions, sir.
Yes, I have something to chip in. Sorry. Hello?
Go ahead, please.
Yes, for the sake of those that want to download overnight, I think we are going to have 2 things to download and install by tomorrow. Is it possible to chip in the second software so that they can be able to download it overnight?
Okay, so you are downloading your Oracle Virtualbox and your Windows server.
I'm talking of after the Windows, what's it called? The Windows server.
Yes.
After Windows server, are we having any other thing we are downloading?
I think there's also Windows Enterprise also.
Windows client, but not to worry.
Windows,
we have,
because it's also heavy.
Hold on, we have a month to learn Windows Server Administrator, so there's no point to rush. Okay. It is heavy, it's about 4 gig actually, but then let that one not confuse you. Okay, so let us not rush. Download your Windows server successfully. Tomorrow we start creating virtual machines, because before we download the second one, we have like 2 or 3 classes explaining everything on server before you get to the client.
Okay, gotcha.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Wow. Who else? So my own needs clarification, please. Let's take all the clarifications now.
Sweet.
Please go ahead and ask your questions. You need us to start from the beginning? Tell us now. Do you want to go and watch the video? Is there explanatory? You have all the support. All the support you want. This is not somewhere where you come and then You just say things and then you take it like that. No. Thank God for Google. You can use Google to check. If you ask questions, you ask. If your own computer is not cooperating, like as you are pressing it here, you're not seeing it like that, you can ask us on WhatsApp. But I can assure you that every step of the way, the support you need, you're gonna get it. So let's
So
start.
if I have to watch if I want to watch this class video,
Yeah.
do I have to watch from YouTube? How do I go about it?
We'll create a link for it, either YouTube or uh, my Oga will advise where we put it. Yeah,
Yes,
but
sir.
currently it is recording on cloud. So in the next 2 hours, it should be ready. I can share the link with us. Okay.
All right. Okay.
Yeah.
Hello, can you hear me?
Please, I can hear you.
I want to buttress on what the other man said. Sorry, I cannot see his name. Regarding when you were deleting your install Windows Server and the
Yes.
client operating system, he was telling you that you can back it up or you
Okay.
can archive it.
Okay.
I think
That's Mr. Aaron.
that is what the export button and the import button and the export button inside the VirtualBox can do.
Oh.
Before deleting it, you export it somewhere on your system.
Yeah.
Then after deleting it, when you want to make use of them back, you can now import it back. So you will see it.
Yes.
Okay, so this
That
is
was
what we're gonna do. We're going to install virtual machine tomorrow on
delete.
this, and then we'll
Okay.
export,
Yes. Delete.
and then we'll import back, and let's see.
Yes.
Because I
Yeah. I
believe
think.
in hands-on. Let's see if it works.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. All right. And I also, well, this is the training that we want to do, right? I'm sure all of you in 2 weeks' time, you see a lot of things on WhatsApp. My virtual machine is this, so my box is that. So you will understand what
Yeah.
I'm
A
talking
lot of
about.
issues. A lot of issue will be coming. I
Yeah,
can still remember. I had a training. Sorry. I'm coming in with my personal experience though.
it's okay. Let's learn together.
Okay. Yeah, I had a training with Microsoft then, I think around 2019, late 2019 on Agile Fundamental, Microsoft Agile Fundamental. So after the training, they gave us access to create VMs, access, what's it called, database and all that. So at the time, when we started the class, I was able to create the VM on Microsoft Azure platform. That's
Yeah.
yes, on the portal, from the portal. I could create VM and go to a different network and access the VM and
Right.
all the thing I have inside there. But at the time, like a few months, I did not really go back to check and see if I can still do all those things. I said, "Okay, let me create a VM again." I was having issues
Right.
creating a VM. As in, after choosing location where I want it to be and all that, then run to create so I will get the link. It was a problem. Then I was not like asking questions. It was like, how something that I could do before now, what is not the problem? Then I went to meet one of my superior guys. Oh, see, I cannot.
I want to encourage the rest of us to always participate as well. Okay, don't just listen and watch and say you're going to do it later on. Okay, participate, ask questions. After the class, you can also check on Google. Although what we are going to be giving you from the curricula is quite rich, but you can also go on Google, right? If you think you need to. But if it is just here, I can assure you, you get all the necessary things you need to. So, does anybody have any question before we end this session? We're going to continue
Yeah.
tomorrow at 7:30.
Yeah. Sorry, I would like to ask a question.
Please, Mr.
I
Said.
want to know if would that be a note or a kind of a material to be reading for the training?
Well, the note that we have for Microsoft Windows is the lectures note. If I give it to you, you won't understand. Okay, so the best note you're going to have is the one you form yourself. Okay, and how do you do that? Either during the class like this, or while you're watching the video, you begin to form it. Okay, so when this is how the instructor downloaded, this is how he installed. If I give you my note of an IT person, what I will use to represent something might not be what you will understand. But if you form, it's not like a literature class like English that you read. Okay, so my advice is form your own note. All right. But if you want to see my lecturer's note, you're going to see it. But you understand, because what you have on my lecturer's note is download Virtualbox. I didn't put there, go to this, go to this, go to this. Then I also do download Microsoft Service 2016 server. Then I put install 2016 server on your Virtualbox. You see, like points like that. Okay, so that's how my own note is. Okay, but I can tell you for free, if you form your own note, 7 years after you pick your note up, you're able to understand what you put there. All right. But there will be lecture notes to guide you on after you do this, just like an algorithm flow. After you do this, this is what you do next, this is what you do next. But how you do each of those things, okay, they're not in the note. So I encourage you to please form your own notes in your own words that you will understand. Right? Any other one more person? Let's take one question more before we close this session. Is there any? All right, so that's it, guys. We'll meet tomorrow at 7:30 to 9:30 p.m. Please kindly help us fill the Google form on our page so we can have a comprehensive list, because the class video is strictly going to be based on invitation. If you're not logging in with your email, you might not be able to watch the class video, just to protect the class from people that didn't pay and want to attend class. The backyard
so
people.
where's the form located?
It's inside our ITAN 5 schedule page on WhatsApp.
And then when are you sending this video to all of us?
Before dawn, it should be ready. Right? It should be ready before dawn. All right. So final call. If you still have any question, or you think we can modify on this delivery method, please go to our ITAN 5 ITAN page, schedule 5 page, put it there, and let's review it together. All right. Okay. I wish you also pleasant night rest. Good night. Bye.
Good night, sir.
Good night.
Thanks, boss.